Hi, how are y'all? Hello, Dannon. Hello, Dancing Asparagus and Clarissa Hendershot. Well, I hope I can make it through it, Dannon. I really do. I've been working on my my audio all day. Could y'all give me an audio check? Like I've spent like 3 or 4 hours jacking with this. Hello, Dorian. Hello, Panna. Good evening. So I guess you're going to react to the Park versus the Man today. Yes, I'm going to try. Hello, Luke. I know there's a little bit of a delay. Yeah, everything was going good today. Country deck. Sounds good. Okay, good. It sounds a lot better on my end. What I was trying to do. Hello, Karen. What I was trying to do was make sure that the audio, y'all know the regulars here, when I play audio, it's in the past it's echoed really bad, but I'm just in a funk. I'm in a funk. I went and worked out. Blaney Boo and I went and worked out. Today was back and biceps, and everything was fine. And then my old buddy on here, Roy Kloppenstein, out of California, I got a notification that he commented that the Parker movie had hit 6 million views. And I'd already gotten back from workout and was working on the audio. I thought, well, shit, I guess if I can get the audio fixed, what better day to go over it with people. For those of you who don't know, that is the worst day of my life, Parker versus the Man. That was the day that officially started my professional drinking career, which I'm not proud of. I'm actually quite ashamed of it. I had drank before that, but it wasn't an everyday daily thing to cover up the heartache. Hello, Sarah Jane. Yep. It hit. And I've always, speaking of 6 million views on Parker versus the Man, to be quite honest with y'all, I've always been a little bit baffled about why the original Parker movie got so much more traction than the Parker versus the Man. Parker versus the original one's got like 44 million, so there's like seven or eight times more views. I don't know, maybe it's just me because I was there and it's the worst day of my life versus, probably one of the happier days of my life. Yo, Caleb, computer fast repair, off topic, but who you like, M&M Vanilla Ice? I like both of them. I met Vanilla Ice one time. They're actually in Odessa, Texas. He's really short. Thanks for trying to cheer me up. Yeah, I probably shouldn't comment on that. I know what you're talking about. Hello, Lucy. I can't pinpoint the worst day of my life. Pretty much every day before my 18th birthday is tied for the worst day of my life. I understand, Lucy. I totally get it. Like, I really do. I guess without further ado, I'm going to play this whole thing. I haven't watched this I watched part of it about a year ago when I was I was invited on Mr. Palmer's channel. He had covered the Parker movie, or Parker versus the Man. A lot of people cover the Parker movie, but he's one of the few that I know of that actually covered this one, Parker versus the Man. And I hadn't watched it in years because I can't. It's literally the worst day of my life. But I watched part of it with him as he basically reacted to it, and then later he had me on his program to talk about it. And anyway, this is the first time I'll have watched it. Other than a little bit of the audio, I did a test run on my own, set it to private so I wouldn't bore y'all with it, just to make sure that. Now, keep in mind, yes, it was recorded with my iPhone, but it was outside and there's a lot of truck noise. And anyways, I don't really know how it's going to go, but I really, if I can't finish it, then I don't guess it's end of the world for me. But anyways, I'm going to add this to the stream. First I need to turn off my little music sounds here. Okay, music is down there. And now I'll get back to comments. Hide that. Believe I've got this all the way. Yes, I've got it up to size. This is the very beginning. So setting this up, I had Parker in my possession about 2.5 months after the Parker. And when we went to court, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was a slam dunk. Officer Brandon Spinks and Roaches, they both told us we were free to go. I had it on camera. He wanted to live with me. In the state of Texas, I don't know how it is now. I assume it's the same, but even back then, and you'll hear Parker say it about midway. In the state of Texas, if you're the age of 12, you can go before the judge, and they will supposedly consider what the child has to say. And I was made a blatant example out of by Judge Whalen. And so it starts off, my sisters and I had just walked out with Parker. Parker wasn't actually in the courtroom because he had gotten on the stand. So he didn't even know the verdict until I walked out. And I was just devastated. And I had to tell him. And he started to blow up. And I had to just completely upset, understandably so. And I had to restrain him because the cops were coming after us. And I had my camera out in the hallway. And I was just to try to document what happened. And they said, we're going to arrest you if you don't put your camera. There's no cameras allowed. And I remember pointing down the hallway. There was a local CBS affiliate with a tripod, and they were filming through the doorway in one courtroom over. I guess it was a murder trial or something. And I was like, well, you going to arrest him too? He's got a fucking tripod. And then they really started getting up, a bunch of them up in my grill. And so I didn't want to push my luck. So anyway, we got outside and I start recording. Of course, my mother and my sister are there, and I don't think they wanted me to record, but it was just a mess. We were given 15 minutes to say goodbye. And this is where it's at. Y'all don't hear me say it, or you hear me say it, something about bozo here. Here, stepdad, that's stepdad. And you don't hear my sister say it, but she's telling me to hush. So without further ado, I'm going to try to play this in its entirety. I'll check on the comments a little bit to make sure the audio is okay. If you're a troll and I don't know who you are, I'm not going to listen to you because I know how trolls are. But Dannon, Panna, Mazin, Karen, the OGs that have been here a while, keep in mind, it's not going to be perfect because it's hard to watch anyways. But I'm going to try to make sure it's not just horrible on my end. I think I've got it figured out, but here it goes. You feel good about yourself, stepdad? Detective County Courthouse, Judge Whalen just made it very clear that Parker's got to go back to his stepdad and mom's house. And apparently I need to just probably leave it at that. Not real happy about it. Parker's not happy about it. I reckon Candace is ecstatic. She and her lawyer, Miller, what's his name? Brad Miller.
are in a calm tone. Why can I not stay with my dad? I don't want to go live with you. Please do not make me go live with you.
We tried that.
I don't know why she thinks that making you live with her is going to make you love her.
Because she's psycho. Anyone watching this, she's psycho.
He is mad. Just mad. I had absolutely
I've got it.
no idea what to expect.
Well, they'll take it. There's information they don't need, or maybe I don't know. I'll get him. I'll get him a. Somehow we'll get him something.
Oh, good grief. Get the police over there to yank you, snatch you up.
I'd already gotten a reputation for not editing my video in the original Parker movie, and so that was me saying, Hillary, I've got it. I don't know what's going on, but I didn't want to give my full plan out because I didn't want to have to edit. I wanted it to be all of it there, and I am going to mute out my own phone number in this version.
Parker, I mean, if you had to, do you know how to make a collect phone call? If you go to like 7-Eleven or somewhere, your school or whatever, you dial 0. It'll call an operator. And they'll say, "What do you need?" Say, "I need to make a collect call to 432-413-3133." And it'll call your dad, and your dad will pay for the phone call. But don't think you're going to get down there without an opportunity to make a phone call.
Oops.
You're not. If you have to do it from your school secretary
Exactly.
counselor's office, if you push 0, it'll take you to an operator. It's the old-fashioned way of making long-distance phone calls. Okay? That's how you can get in touch. If anything happens to you, if you want to just talk to your dad, report in, go to your school counselor every single day. Say, "I want to call my dad. My mom doesn't let me talk to her, but I need to call him." You call him collect. Okay? It's called collect. You push 0, call the operator. Tell them what you want. You know your dad's phone number, don't you?
Hey, what time is it?
It's 5:02.
5:02. According to Judge Whalen, legally at 5 o'clock. Parker is to be in possession of Jason and Candace May. We're just waiting for him. Do I need to walk him over there?
Just know that
I'll see if you come over and get him.
Okay.
Yes, that is my sister and my mother in the green.
Yeah, if you want us,
What's that?
however you want to handle it. Same thing, you have to make it look better.
He's available.
Those two guys talking in the back, those are my lawyers, Will Doonan and his father-in-law. But that said you have to make him available.
Okay, why are the sheriffs dispersing around? Are they trying to surround us or what? Oh. Okay, if he takes my mom, get your camera ready in case he takes my camera. Well, just in case, you never. Howdy.
Save you a lot of time, Parker. It's all recorded right here.
Okay, I know.
But
Sucks, doesn't it?
Corporal J. Walsh, Odessa
Yes, sir.
PD. What's the
you.
problem?
Judge Whalen just ordered my son to go with his stepdad and mom, and he's been living with me for the past 3 months because he refused to get out of the car. I'm sure you're aware of your officers, Spinks and Rocha, on their infamous YouTube video where you've had thousands of people all over the world.
Let's focus on what's here today.
He,
Okay.
as according to at 5 o'clock, just a few minutes ago, I have no choice but to tell him, Parker, you have to go with your mom.
Lawyer's already shown me the paperwork, signed by a judge. Mom's
Yeah.
got sole custody.
Okay, I've got to pause here. I don't know if Corporal Walsh here was misinformed or just misspoke or someone lied to him or if he was lying, but just now you heard him say, Mom indeed has sole custody. That never happened. she had primary custody, and I still had my regular visitation, since that's what family courts do, is reduce the other parent to mere fucking visitors. But again, I don't know if he was just he might have just misspoke. I really don't know. But I get a lot of questions. How did she get sole custody? She didn't. Nobody has ever had sole custody of any of our 4 children, ever. Hence the reason this was on a Monday. Hence the reason, as soon as you see Parker drive off at the end, they headed straight from Odessa, Texas to San Antonio, Texas. That coming Friday was my normal, regular visitation to get all the cheerings. And I just had to pack my shit. Instead of driving 5 miles into town to get them, I had to pack my shit and drive 375 miles one way to go get them.
So
Can I just talk to my mom before you?
you're going with your mom?
Dick.
Just can I talk to my mom?
Stop.
I'm going to film the whole thing, Bart. We're in public, so I have a right to film, so I'm going to film everything until you're completely.
guest. Go ahead.
Completely. Thank you.
Backstory. Right here, where Parker's doing the slow death walk, like, what was it, from the Green Mile? He didn't get it from a movie. This was on a Monday, and the previous weekend, just the day before, we had just gotten back from Austin, Texas. I had taken Parker. There's an event there, had about, I don't know, 300, 400, 500 people, and it was a police accountability summit. And there was a bunch of speakers there, and one of the speakers there was one of the original co-founders of the original Black Panther Party, not this new age woke crap, but the original Black Panther Party back in the 60s. His name is Bobby Seale, and he spoke at the time. He had to be in his mid 70s, and the man's got fire. He spoke for a solid hour, and I didn't know how Parker was going to react to it, or if he'd be enjoyed, but he like propped up on the edge of his seat the entire time. And at the end, they announced that he's going to have people backstage if you want to go meet him. And of course, I just signed us right up. And you'll see at the end of the video, during the song that plays by my friend Jordan Page called The Message of Freedom, there's a picture of Parker and me with this old black man. And a lot of people don't know who it is, because he's changed a lot since the 60s, but that is Bobby Seale, the original, the Bobby Seale. And his speech was about civil disobedience. That is how the original Black Panther Party got to the power that they did, is they learned what the laws were, and they didn't get violent, but they learned the gun laws, and they learned what they can do and can't do. And they were some of the modern pioneers of civil disobedience. And when you see Parker set down, there's a speech that he had given, about a speech that he had given, where Bobby was literally tied up after he sat down in this court, or they slammed him down the court. And he just, it's an amazing speech. After this broadcast, I'm going to see if I can find it. I know it's on YouTube, but I'll find that speech, and it will be in the description.
Again, this is Parker Leverett, Texas County Courthouse. A little after 5 o'clock, he's been ordered by the judge to go with his mom and stepdad, obviously against his will.
Yep.
I love you, son.
That's stepdad right there. I had no clue he was going to do this. Like, not a clue. Like I said, we thought it was a slam dunk. He was going to be living with me. Notice where she walks when she first gets out. Does she go to her son? No. Goes over to the fucking cop and the fucking lawyer. Those other guys, that other guy back there in the khaki, he's another cop. More or less kind of like a plain dress cop. And it was hotter than blue blazes. It was 100 degrees out there, and he sat his unhappy ass down on that pavement and burned his butt. I am legally not even allowed to have anything to do with him at this point. That's why all I decided to do was just document, record everything I could. There's Doofus. He knows he fucked up. Or I think he did. That's my sister.
Do not think you're going to go down there and we're going to forget about this case. We've got 3.
Still hadn't talked to her son. I know the audio's bad, y'all, but that was just all I had is my phone. Do it. Yeah. Thanks, Adam. If she will. I doubt she will, though. I was just getting the building,
County Courthouse.
Ector County Courthouse, the time of day, the weather conditions, everything I wanted to get a recording of. Still hasn't talked to her son. Still. Why? Oh, that belt was driving me crazy. Looks like we're both having a bad day.
Are you having a good day? I'm not.
He patted his legs. At this point,
You need to go with your mom, Parker. I have no choice but to tell you that.
I had to make a documentation of myself saying that. At this point, I got the feeling that, yes, obviously he's upset, but he's figured out that they don't know what to do either. His mom's gone, what, 5 minutes? Hadn't even talked to him, talking to the fucking lawyer, and they haven't done anything. He knows that I'm recording. He knows his grandmother, my mother, is recording. And so that's the impression that I got. But I had to have a documentation that way that, you know how litigious this fucking society is.
What? I have no choice but to tell you that.
He understood. Hang on just a second. Big door prize, embarrassing as heck. I hope you realize he's now as I hope you realize it now as an adult. Do you really fucking think that I don't know that? That I don't realize he's as an adult? That this is not the greatest thing to put out there, you fucking moron? Get the fuck out of here. Just gonna block that fucking idiot. I'm not in the mood for trolls. Dannon, if you got trolls just talking shit, just fucking block them. I'm not in the mood for that shit. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm showing what the family courts really do. What really happens every fucking single day in family courts in every town in every state. This happens every day. You don't see the news people around covering broken hearts like this, do you? No. Because they're all in it together. It's up to us to show the world what really happens. Because unless you've gone through this bullshit, you don't have a fucking clue what it's like. That's Parker whistling. He's gaining confidence. As shitty of a situation this is, at least he is learning something. Oh, attorney Brad Miller. Boy, his haters sure got a hold of his ass. Fucking coward. Isn't it amazing what one camera or a couple cameras will do to get all these people, all these cops on the fucking phone? I'm glad they never drew their guns. But, you know, I knew I was pissing them off. I didn't give a fuck. To the best of my understanding, Officer Walsh's body cam he had on that he pointed out earlier was the first time OPD had ever used body cams. That's what I've been told. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I've been told. Love Mr. Palmer. Y'all check out Mr. Palmer's channel if you would. Subscribe.
Do you mind if I speak with your son? I mean,
I don't have legal custody of him right now. You'd have to ask the one in legal custody.
Yeah, he's just so fucking fed up with it, but you know, oh well.
huh? Parker? Yes, sir. Yeah. What's going on here, dude? I'm kind of
I obviously don't want to live with her.
uh-huh.
I told the judge that.
He told the judge that, told her that, both of his lawyers. He told.
Her that. See how people sit on their seat.
Okay. Why don't you want to live with your mom?
Because she's aggressive, she's violent, she's a fighter,
Aggressive,
she loves to fight,
violent, loves to fight.
passionate about it. I just don't need that anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm not a fighter. I'm a very anti-violent person. I don't like to fight. I just don't like it. And she loves it, and I mean, I respect her as my mom, but I don't.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Ah,
I thought I was talking to you. Yeah, yes, sir. Anyways, I just don't want to live with her because of those reasons. She's violent, she's aggressive, she loves to fight, she yell and scream.
doesn't care,
Loves to
doesn't
hit
care,
my
doesn't
little
care.
siblings,
Cop doesn't care.
which I'm very concerned about right now. And I don't want to be away.
He gave the reasons. He flat out gave the reasons. And I know a lot of people thought Walsh did a good job, and in certain areas he kind of did. But at the end of the day, Corporal Walsh took a paycheck. All over every cop car you've ever seen, they say to protect and serve. Well, he's demonstrating exactly who he's protecting and who he's serving, and it was not my son. And he's the one that has to live with that, not me. Every character in this fucking video, they have to live with what they did. I don't. Yes, that moron troll that was commenting, this is not the greatest day of our life. In fact, I've plainly stated it's the name of the fucking podcast is the worst day of my life. I know it's the worst day of my life. I know it's a horrible thing. I know it's awful to watch, but you need to see it, people. Everybody who just blindly supports all these wonderful politicians just because of the letter next to their name needs to see this. This is what really happens. There's nothing unique about our story. Nothing. The only thing that's unique about it is how much of it I captured on camera. That's about it. This happens every single day in every county, in every state, all the time. This is what Title 4D funding does. This is federal funding to all the states' attorneys general that enforce this kind of crap.
To my family because they live in San Antonio right now. Is that right? We never got the address.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
We entered
Do
all
you
that in
see
court.
why I didn't know where my little siblings were for almost 2 weeks now?
That's not true.
Yeah,
They moved to San Antonio against the court order.
All right. I'm not doing this because I'm not sitting here because you. I mean, really, I don't get a thrill out of this. I just refuse to go somewhere where I don't want to go.
Well, can you help understand something from my point of view as a peace officer? I said,
I'll try.
I deal strictly in the criminal. Okay? All this right here, criminal side of the law, nothing criminal here, okay?
Right.
It's all civil.
Right.
Understand that if you're 14,
Yes.
I said, you know that your rights are extended to the guardianship of your parents. You know that, right?
Yes.
And what we have right now is a judge signing a court order stating that sole custody is in fact with your mother.
And I'm against that. I even told him I was
Let's
against
come back to the 14-year-old part.
Okay.
I said, when you turn 17 and you want to adjudicate yourself from your folks, that's your right. But that's 3 years out.
Right, but
Right
I'm
now,
also
listen to me now.
Okay.
As a 14-year-old, you have no say so in the affairs of your folks. You don't get to say yea or nay.
So I can't choose where I want to live?
No, you can't.
I can't.
You cannot. You're a child.
Yes, sir, but I'm also
Right here.
over the legal age to be able to choose where I want to live, which is 12 in the state of Texas, and I'm 14. And I
So
do
why
not
don't
want to
you
live there.
adjudicate yourself, and why did the judge sign off on an order giving her sole custody of you?
You fucking
don't know.
smart ass.
Because you're a child.
He's just being a smart ass. I'm sorry, people who just worship this fucking cop. He's just being a smart ass. Why the judge sign off on it? As if that is some kind of legitimate argument. Like all judges are all good all the time in all cases, always. My fucking ass.
I'm also capable of rational thought.
So is a dog.
So is a dog.
Okay?
But that doesn't give the dog the right to turn around. And I'm not trying to make a bad analogy here, okay? I'm just suck at words.
You're just
All I
taking a
know is
paycheck.
that the lawyer has shown me a court order saying she's got sole custody.
Look at that shit.
Which means that
Look at that shit.
if you end up with your dad, you're putting your father in a bad position too. You understand that I consider him contempt of court and he can suffer jail time for that.
Threatening me with jail
So
time.
either I go with her against my will, or I get detained, and so does my dad.
No, I didn't say that.
That's exactly what you just said.
You're not listening. Please don't twist my words.
I'm not trying to.
What I told you was
He just did. We would go to jail.
Because the judge said so.
I want y'all to pay attention to that. He just said you're putting your dad in a bad position where your dad could go to jail. So if I don't go with my mom, then I'm going to get detained. So is my dad. That's not what I said. Please don't twist my words. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. And because that's exactly what happens. This is a civil matter. But if we don't do as the gods commanded us, we go to jail, or I go to jail. I mean, I guess he could have gone to juvenile hall jail. But that's the point I was trying to point out with this, how fucked up this system is. That's exactly what he was saying.
The state of Texas being unfit to make these decisions. Okay? As an advocate for the state of Texas, if a judge tells me to do something, I'm legally bound to abide. Okay?
Or you could quit.
Don't construe this as me saying that I'm going to yank you by your ear and shove you in the truck. That's not what I'm saying. Okay?
Yeah, it actually is.
Stating, this is for future
If we push too far, that's exactly what he was
Obviously,
there.
There's some issues between mom and dad and you.
Oh yeah.
I get that.
That is exactly why they sent men with guns to handle this, because that is exactly what would happen if we pushed it too far. I was pushing it right up to the very, very limit. And then I had no choice but to back off because I didn't know, everyone's seen police brutality videos. I didn't know what he's going to do. I didn't know if this guy was going to blow up or stay calm. I didn't know where his limit was. And y'all can't see him. I'll get to that in a minute, but there's a lot more cops coming in. You'll see him waving them on. He's not saying hello to the neighbors. He's waving other cops on once he figured out that we had succumbed and had to bend the knee.
And I'm just trying to advocate to you here right now because, yeah, you can park it right here and chill all you want. That's nothing wrong about that. I have no idea what the dynamic is on your family. Okay? I don't know what dad's like. I don't know what mom's like. I'm coming into this one. I don't. That's not my.
Doesn't know, doesn't give a
She's
shit to know.
choking you out. She's beating you with a bat. I said that's really none of my. That's all I know. The judge signed a piece of paper saying that you are getting court custody.
Right there, a lot of people, I mean, they heard him say, if she's beating you out or choking you out, that's none of my concern. It's hard to hear, but, and this is in defense of him, what he said is, unless she's beating you up and choking you out, that's not, then whatever's happening is none of my concern. It was just hard to hear him. I just happen to remember him actually saying it. Look at that pleasant smile. Look at that. Wow. Gordo.
The reason I'm explaining this to you is that if you decide to grow up, be brave, and run away and go to dad, and I'm sure dad knows this too, that he will be found in contempt of court and go to jail.
That's exactly what we just got through saying. We will, the ultimate punishment for not doing as the gods told us, the judges told us, is jail. And he would take a check and he would arrest me or any of his goon friends, and they would hold me in jail and they wouldn't think twice about it. They'll take the money. Keep that in mind.
And it would be also the district attorney's prerogative to file kidnapping charges.
Now he's bringing in the district attorney, which we found out later they did try to press kidnapping charges. Thank the gods that the people on the grand jury no-billed it.
Just saying what it can turn into, not saying that's what it is. Okay? That's it. So, parking it here, doing your civil disobedience or defiance thing is accomplishing what?
I'm trying to get to her mind that I do not want to live with her,
I think we've established that.
but she's still not comprehending.
I don't think you understand the fact that
He's just belittling him now. You are her property.
In charge of maintaining your
He said it.
So I'm a slave.
So I'm a slave.
You can break it down however you want.
Well,
Not
that's what
as-
it's been
Uh-huh.
for the last 14
That's
years.
what
I'm
you
not
call
trying to be
losing a
rude or
debate.
offensive to you. It's just, it's been my life for 14 years. I'm tired of it.
But you're 14.
Yeah, that one.
What do you
that
know
number-
about life?
That shit right there drives me up a wall. You're 14. What do you know about life? Yes, a 14-year-old, I get it, is not a fully matured adult. Hence the reason I'd recommend that young adults don't even get married and have cheer-ins until their mid to late 20s at the earliest. I get that. But there's loads of 14-year-olds that know, unfortunately, how cruel this fucking life is. And it's because of cops like him taking a paycheck, no matter what, just because they're told to do it. They didn't make the laws. They're just following orders. Oh, she's violent and aggressive, like you just told me, young 14-year-old Parker. I don't care. I don't care because I'm an officer of the law. That's exactly what he's saying.
What do I know about life? Well, just violence right now. I was learning peace.
Apparently, you don't understand how it works within continental United States, state of Texas, county of Ector, region 7.
How does
You
it
don't-
work?
You go with her. I
And
said,
that's it, just because he signed a piece of paper.
yeah, it really is that simple. I know it sucks, but this is how the system works. It's like saying
He's
I
being
signed a
honest
piece of paper
right
and
here.
all of a sudden says somebody's under arrest because I've got certain elements of an offense that constitute an offense. I know it's some make-believe mojo, but that's the system we have in place because
Truer words were never spoken. It's some make-believe mojo. He just admitted it. I got to give him props for that. Good for him. He's being truthful. It is all made-up mojo. It's all make-believe. It's all crap. I'm just going to keep playing.
we're humanity and we're fallible. But this is the system that we have. I got bad news, girl. I've blown out both. Can we stand up and talk, please?
Yeah.
So I can give you my sob story about being
Trying,
in
man,
Iraq.
but 3 tours in Iraq is more than enough. Okay, I hurt every morning and every day. I'm sorry about that. It's okay, man. What I'm trying to get at right now is, again, I don't know the dynamic with dad, aunt, and mom. Okay, all I know is what's presented to me at this time.
From a judge.
You know, you can use this as a learning experience.
Take the
I
abuse.
understand defiance, civil disobedience.
No, you
I
don't.
was that guy growing up too. So it seems more of a moral conundrum as me as a police officer, all of a sudden having to tell people what to do. I don't like it because I'm 29, going on 30, and had some 50-year-old looking at me like a punk. What the hell do I know about that? This will steadily transition. It's called the nature of progression. You have to endure.
He's 29 years old, and I've seen a bazillion comments in here doing the math. He was in how many X amount, 10 years in the Army and 5 years of cop in San Antonio. And I've never figured out his math there. Maybe he just misspoke again. I really don't know.
What it is with your mind. The idea is that you be strong. You have to rise above it. But you have to understand you're 14 years old.
Parker, I would suggest he's a moral person, and we're getting every bit of this on video, and this is beautiful. You've made your point. This will live forever. Both Nana and Hillary and I have this on recording.
Parker,
I would suggest you go
Because
with your
if you
mom.
don't, he's going to get shot.
Don't you worry. You've got a huge worldwide following that will not give up on you, especially me.
let me also explain something to you. I've placed myself in some pretty crappy positions in life, and I've learned something from every one of them. Life isn't buttons and bows, brother. It gets harder as you get older. If you
Because of
started
people
this
like
way,
him.
when you grow up,
The system.
you actually
The
have to deal
mojo,
with
as
authority, but you
he
come with
said.
the pretext of spitting in its face because I'm just going to be the defiant, sovereign American citizen. That is going to get you landed with the Aryan Brotherhood, county rangers, all these retards that think for some odd reason Texas should succeed, all this jazz. And it's all a bunch of bravado that makes absolutely no sense because you got
Aryan
one
Brotherhood.
retard that's a lot smarter than the rest of them that throws out some bravado, and people are like, that's awesome. Let me jump on it. And all of a sudden he's got a following. You ever heard of Jonestown?
Do you relate me to Jim?
No. I'm asking. You know
Yeah,
about
he- yeah,
Jim
he
Jones?
was.
and
I
all
know
that?
Jim Jones very well. A bunch of people decided to follow this whack job, and all of a sudden popped a bunch of cyanide pills, thought they were going to heaven. That's
Yeah.
what he's talking about.
In South America. There's a lot more to it, but my basic pretext is that you can be a follower or you can be a leader. With this, use it as a learning experience. You can take this and learn.
Take your
whenever
licks.
You have kids, they're
Take
not
the
exposed to
abuse.
the same situation. I said, I'm trying to do this as morally and civilly as I can. There's
Without
no-
pulling his gun
And it is
out.
very much appreciated.
Not a problem, sir. That's
very
that's
much
why I'm here. I really am here to help. Settling disputes like this is my bread and butter. I was a cop in the Army for 10 years. I was a cop in San Antonio for 5 years. Now I'm a cop here. Okay? This is just where God placed me. You need to take what you have in front of you with a grain of salt.
And there is like 5 Air Force bases or military bases in general in San Antonio. Maybe that's what he meant. He was in the military a total of 10 years, and of which he was an MP or something. And that maybe that's what he meant. I don't know.
And learn. You can see what experiences you'll get by walking this route and take from it, dude. I mean, you have to learn from the good and the bad. Not everything's going to be great in life. Not everything's going to happen the way you think it should be. You put it this way. If I had my way, I'd be in Afghanistan on a hilltop behind a sniper rifle hunting bad dudes. Special ops.
I'd better not say anything.
There's what I wanted. You want to know a real kick in the butt? I got headhunted for special ops after I got my acceptance to warrant officer school. I only achieved sergeant in the Army. But some lovely guy decided to put a bomb under my truck, break my back. The Army said, we don't need you anymore. It broke my heart. But you know what? It took me 2 years to learn how to walk again. I'm back at it. If I can't do it as a soldier, I'll do it as a cop. Doing SWAT, I love my job. But I'm not here
Cracking skulls for Jesus.
Just say, oh, you're a bad guy and take you to jail. You're stupid, quit doing that. That's not what I'm trying to do, bro.
But that's exactly what you said.
Both parties. Maintain civility. Peace. You understand what I'm saying, Parker? Are you willing to go with your mother?
At the threat of a gun? Well, yeah, I guess he will.
You're not admitting defeat.
No.
They kicked your ass in a battle, but
By the way, just in case y'all are wondering, that pickup right there is my pickup. That's where Parker sat and fought for his mother with his mother for 72 minutes. It's long gone now. He got a flat, and I moved to Florida, and I didn't have the money to go get it, and they impounded it, and it got crushed. But for what it's worth, that's the one.
you're a winner, buddy.
Smell.
You've nothing to do saying if they beat you on one, you're gonna be fine, okay? You fucking awesome fight. I'm so proud of you. I have to let you go now. Okay?
He said, tell Uncle Don I said happy birthday. And I said, I'll tell him.
Hope y'all are proud of yourselves. Stay strong, partner.
That goofy motherfucker right fucking there. That, young men, is who you do not want to grow up to be. You do not want to grow up, young men, to be a simp enforcer. If you're wondering what a simp enforcer is, this bozo right here is what you call a simp enforcer.
Love you.
I gotta go ask Brad. Wait. No, babe, I'm gonna shut the door.
Stay as long as you're out.
Okay.
I'll stay out as long as you're out.
Oh, I did too after you're done. Also. Family court.
Come on, Park. See, nothing's wrong.
Thank you for ripping me away from that family.
Doing my job.
Very appreciated. Thank you so much. I will see you in 2 months.
Yes, sir.
Did you catch that? Just doing my job. Just doing my job. My son's got more balls than a lot of men, grown men that I know. He knew exactly what was up. Shook that scumbag's hand and said, "I'll see you in 2 months." Because off camera, before I started rolling, our lawyers were talking about it. There's some kind of rule you can go back in 2 months, and I don't know. I don't even remember anymore.
Love y'all. Love you too, Mark. Proud of you, son.
Y'all couldn't see it, but he's waving at me.
Doing your job, huh?
Just doing your job, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Brad Miller, attorney at law, Midland, Texas.
Document. Show what these scumbags do. Take a paycheck for that BMW.
I mean, it's not even like he can get them on his every other week. They're 5 hours away. Can you see the devastation in a 14-year-old kid?
I lived through it myself.
I'm sure he's got things to do.
I know, but I can't stand that he had to leave.
Right there. He wasn't saying bye to his buddies. Well, I guess they are his buddies. He was waving off other cops. There were more cops, even more than just that one plainclothes. You just can't see them. They're gathered around and they're all coming with guns. All of them. That's how they deal with this. They send people with guns to deal with this. That's exactly how the family court works. That's why I pointed this out
I don't know how
here
that
in just a
attorney
minute.
can have put his head on his pillow at night. He is a child, but he's a child that's been to hell and back.
Officer Walsh, we have philosophical differences on some things, but compared to most YouTube videos of cops, you are an outstanding example. If we have to have the monopolistic force known as police officers, you are an outstanding example. You could have pulled any number of your weapons. I see you've got some kind of automatic in there, and I thank you for not doing that, taking the high road and doing what a peace officer would do. And you talk to my son. As much as I hate what happened, I thank you for being calm and
There's fucking lost it.
No problem, sir.
Thank you for not shooting my son, you fucking dick.
Officer Taylor Walsh, number 435.
taught him how to work on engines,
He
how
did.
to be useful, learn a trade.
I know it's no big secret that my dad and I no longer speak, and there's some bad things there, but I will give my father credit. He did do some good things, like teaching me how to make a living and showing Parker around his shop and driving forklifts and stuff. Showed him how to tear down radiators. You'll see it here in a minute. I've got some pictures of Parker around, his big. He had a really, really, really nice shop.
Skill. I taught him how to do the yard right.
And I'm appreciative of that.
Feed
Always,
water
and I always
horses.
will
He
be.
got to ride horses with his granddad. Everything. This has been a magical 2.5
Mom, he doesn't get his cell phone. They get mad at him. She won't let him bring their boots to our house when they come. She does. She makes them strip their boots off, checks their socks and pockets. She won't let them.
True story. I don't normally talk about this stuff, but my sister's already let the cat out of the bag here, and I don't mind talking about it. There was a point where every time the kids returned, they had to strip down and all immediately go take showers after I dropped them off. And in my opinion, that was a manipulation tactic to make it obvious that you're dirty now. You're coming back home from his house and you've been dirty. So you're going to not just come in, you're going to strip down, you're all going to shower, and everything had to go in a visitation box. It was labeled visitation box. All their clothes had to go in there and get washed.
Take anything over to our house like we're crazy. We live on a farm. We have horses, cows, peacocks, chickens. He knows how to tear down a radiator. I'm like, all he wants to do is be with his dad.
Let's go. Let's let him go.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving him some history and helping him understand that this is not the end of his life.
Songs as I write you this letter.
Yes, I'm going to play this entire song because it's one of my favorite songs in the whole world by Jordan Page.
The message of freedom. I stand at the edge of the pages of history and lessons unlearned. It feels like these pages are remaining unturned. But boys, it's no mystery. Children, I'm sorry to leave you this world in a state of disaster. It was given to me in a similar state, but I woke up so late in the game. Now it's spiraling faster. 'Cause freedom's the answer, so what is the question? Resist the advances of force and aggression, and leave to your children the promise of something more. As God is my witness, I'll be a slave no more. Boys, listen close, for our souls may depend on the actions we take and the causes we choose to defend. So treat every man as a friend and live your own lives in their divine processions. Transform your world with your selfless expressions. Reach out your hands, in time we'll understand. Children, one day I'll be gone, and you'll have to remember these words and be strong as you cling to each other, your family, your faith, and your father's song. You've known this all along. Freedom's the answer, so what is the question? Resist the advances of force and aggression, and leave to your children the promise of
That's the
something
Billy the Kid
more.
Museum.
As God is my witness, I'll be asleep no more. The message of freedom.
Hello, Wicca Rose. I'm so
every
glad to see
tyrant
you.
or second-rate despot the world's ever known, and for one simple reason, the people have kept it alive. And with no end in sight to the level of violence that men in high places will sink for to silence the will of the people, and you it must survive.
Thanks, Tori. Means a lot, man.
Well, freedom's the answer, so what is the question? Resist the advances of force and aggression.
They made me that
and
dinner.
leave to your children the promise of something more.
No, I'm just kidding.
As God is my
That's Blaine.
witness, I'll be asleep
And Parker.
no
Parker's with the torch. Right there. This is Mr. Bobby Seale. And I want everyone to see this man.
Well, freedom's the answer, so what is the question? Resist the advances of force and aggression, and leave to your children the promise of something more. As God is my witness, I'll be afraid.
That's the Wax
no
Museum
more.
across from the Alamo.
Life so
That's
dear,
Blaine.
a peace so sweet to be purchased with chains from our necks to our feet. Forbid this, Lord.
That's the house that
the
the rooms that I built out of that dirty shop. Right here. I wish that stupid thing wasn't, but that is addressed to me. And this is dated May 4th, 2013. And I put this in there on purpose. This is from the Attorney General's office, Office of Attorney General, State of Texas. Greg Abbott was the Attorney General back then. I was accused of being behind on cheering support. And that right there is exactly why I put it in there, because it shows a zero balance. Due date for payment June 1st, 2013, $924. But it shows a zero balance for all those assholes out there that just constantly come after me. I was also instructed, or it was probably a good idea not to include Bobby Seale in this video, and I just basically told them all to go fuck themselves. I didn't release this immediately. It wasn't released for another month or two. And then I wanted to release it, and my lawyers were advising me not to. And I had all these people tell you, no, Caleb, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, Caleb. No, don't do it. Don't do it. And I finally just got to the point, fuck it. I'm going to show the world what happened. I'm going to show the world exactly what happened. The real truth, because the cameras don't lie.
Give me liberty, or give me death.
Give me liberty or give me death. So, anyways, there's quite a few of you still here. Thank you for being here tonight. This is really tough for me. Like I said, I hadn't watched this, and other than a little bit through Mr. Palmer last year when I was on his program, I hadn't watched it in years until now. And yeah, that was the day that I lost my religion. That was the day that I began my professional drinking career. because I had never been that sad in my entire life. My heart was absolutely crushed to a pulp because I didn't know what they're going to do to him. He'd already apparently, obviously, pissed him off by, not getting out of the truck in the first place. Lived with me for 2.5 months. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what they're going to do to him. I will say this, regardless of what happened, Parker Kelly Leverett now is one tough son of a bitch. Yeah, me too, Panna. I know. Sucked. Thanks, Caden. Sarah Jane, you're over the worst, Caleb, but of course it still hurts. I don't think it'll ever stop hurting. I assume it won't. I mean, I don't think about it every single day and let it just completely drain me every single day. But when I watch it, yeah, it kind of fucks me up. But I promise you this also, one thing I'm not going to do after I get off here, after, obviously getting a little upset, I'm not going to go drink at all. I promise this is just water. Wicker Rose, I'm so glad to see you. I saw your comment the other day. Wicca's for all the new people, the people that's been here in the last couple months. Wicca's been one of my moderators for, 2 years now, Wicca. And then I hadn't seen her in a while, but not her fault necessarily. I'm sure it's mine. I wasn't going live regularly, but I'm so glad to see you, Wicca. Parker's in Texas, living on a ranch, riding horses and living his life. He's not on a ranch, but he is a professional horse trainer now, and close enough. But yeah, close enough. Don't blame God. He's our only hope. The enemy is Satan. Again, Onyx, with all due respect, just show me the proof, and I'll be happy to agree with you. I just need the proof. I just don't understand why God gets all the credit when things go wonderfully in people's life, when they're accepting Academy Awards, but when the most evil thing that's ever happened, the most heart-wrenching thing that's ever happened to me, which happens to thousands of people every single day in this country, in the family courts, just like this, he's never to blame. And that's just not me. I'm sorry. That's just not me. I lost my religion that day. I already been questioning it because things weren't just hunky dory up to this day. Things have been incredibly hard because my kids they're even younger. I'd been sued over and over, threatened with all kinds of jail time and prison. Caleb, I understand. I've turned alcohol too to numb the pain. Yeah, well, thanks. I don't recommend it. I don't care what happens. I'll never do that again. I'm not even remotely tempted. Julius Dixon, you're an amazing dad, Caleb. Thank you, Julius. I appreciate that. God, this is from Ryan. God failed Caleb and me and multiple others, manipulation by others. I've been in my low depression, struggles with disorders. Where is this God, pray tell? Yeah, where? And there may be a God. I just don't know. One thing that I'm quite certain of is he is not benevolent, or she, or they, however many gods or goddesses there are, they're not benevolent, or this wouldn't happen. It's Matic, been watching a long time, at a similar situation. Glad Parker had his dad like I did. Well, I'm glad you had your dad too. That's just awesome. Renee, that's so touching, Caleb. I'm so sorry you and your children had to go through this hell. All for the courts not listening to the children. Their voices matter. Hugs to Caleb. Thank you very much, Renee. Yeah, the courts, and the lawyers, they've got this infrastructure set up. It costs lots of money, and they will get their money. They will pass whatever laws that they have to pass one way or another, because they're all interconnected. The lawyers, the judges, the court system, the cops, the legislatures, it's all intertwined. And what it revolves around is the almighty dollar. They don't give a crap about the parents or the cheerings. They want their money, and they'll get it. Just like George Carlin said many, many, many years ago, they'll get it all. Wicca, the hurt and pain reminds you of all the struggles you had to go through to prove how awesome of a dad you were. Never forget because it made you who you are today. Well, I'm trying to forget. Again, what we went through is not unique. This my channel's loaded with fucked up to hurt people just like me. Some even worse. Some lose their kids to death in various ways. I can't even relate to that. I just can't imagine how much that must hurt. How many parents decide to off themselves because of the family courts and the parental alienation? How many, it's usually fathers, but some mothers too, just end their own lives because they can't stand the pain. I know how it feels. I know why. I'm not saying I condone it, because I don't, but I understand how they got to where that they were at that point, that was actually an option, because it hurts so bad. I've been through a lot. God has been the one to pull me through. If that helps you, Onyx, I'm thoroughly happy for you. I really am. Yeah, it's not. Thanks, Sarah. Now's not the time. It's not a good time to preach fucking Jesus and God to me. It's just not. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's just not. I'm just not in the mood to hear about this benevolent God that so many people seem to love. Because my big question, where is he? Yes, ma'am. I sure am. I hope you are too as well, Wicca. Okay, well, Onyx, let's just make it all about you then. Good for me. I don't really know how to. I've been through worse, Caleb. I mean, what am I supposed to say to that? I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're trying to get. Where your point you're trying to make, Damon. Is Caleb still living with his mom? I am Caleb. I am the dad. Parker's 23 years old. Do you get to talk to Caleb? I am Caleb, and Parker's my son, and I talk to him almost every day. I just don't talk about personal stuff. Yeah, I'm not talking about Satan. Airly, hi, handsome. Dan, you mean Parker? Yes, he's grown. It's okay. I mean, and forgive me if I'm being a little short with some people. I'm not trying to. God dang, I'm fucking way behind. And oops, Karen, I'm almost put Karen in the penalty box. Oops. This didn't break you. Your boys still grew up to be good men because of you. I hope so. I like to think so. And thank you. Storm MC, I feel like I can relate to this a little bit because my mom was always manipulative and abusive. But my dad would sit back and not do anything. At 17, I live with my grandparents. My siblings aren't so lucky. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. See what I mean? Like, what I mean, so many people can relate. Family court crap. Wicca wrote, lost. Oh, my gosh. Lost my 3 kids to the court, and that pain is undescribable. I'm just thankful now that they're adults. I get to have them as a part of my life. Wicca, I never knew that. I'm so sorry to hear that. And you might have told me that, but it's been a while since I hadn't heard from you in a while. It's been a while. Ryan is talking to Onyx. There is no God in my view. How come every time shit goes bad, this is Satan to blame? How come every time shit goes good, God gets praise? You have to struggle and fail to reach goals. That's kind of where I'm at. Clarissa Hendershot, thank you guys for being supportive of me. Were they giving you some pats on the back, Clarissa? I didn't see. I'm glad though. Storm, keep spreading awareness about our fucked up system. I feel for these families every day. I don't really have a choice. That's become my life. That's and it's still not over. It's still not over. It's my accounts. It's still with the AG. It's just still a mess, a complete utter mess. Sounds like a bunch of fairy tales. This is why I no longer follow Christianity. I don't follow any of them. Sort of unsure. Caleb, you're a hell of a man. Well, thank you. Sort of unsure. Amber Vasilis. Hello, Amber. I've never seen you rage at trolls like you did today. Well, I usually don't, and I might have again. I might be a little snappy right now, but I'm just not in the mood to hear about God and Jesus and praise and blame and worshiping the state and bootlicking cops, and I'm just not interested in hearing it. This is how I feel about it. This is how I feel at the moment about it. And again, I know some of y'all are maybe not necessarily trolls, but and I'm not trying to be an ass. But anyways, how's Blaine doing? Summer Brown, he's doing well. He's ripped, and he's 6'2", and he's 180, 75, 80 pounds. Just single digit body fat. He's doing really well. Funny Monkey 404. I feel so bad for you. Well, thanks, but it ain't just me. I promise. This happens every single day. There's a lot of broken people out there. There's a lot of fathers and mothers and just like me, and there's a lot of kids out there just like my kids right now, right this very minute, loads of them. And if you're young or if you're a parent of a youngster, make sure your kids aren't bullies. I just want to use this opportunity to point that out. Make sure you're talking to kids, your own kids, if they're, generally the popular ones, whatever. And if they might, shit on some poor kid at school, because there's a lot of poor kids at school that they don't talk about it. There's a reason you don't hear my kids and see, updates on my kids. Some of this stuff they just don't want to talk about. It's so painful. And there's kids right now every day in these schools that get picked on because they're having a hard time and they don't know how to deal with it. And so make sure if you're a young kid watching this, don't let me catch you being a bully. And if you're a parent of a youngster, make sure you're talking to don't just say, kids, don't be a bully. Kids, don't drink. Jesus doesn't like it. That doesn't do any good. Get down on their level. They're 14, get down on a 14-year level. If they're 8, get down on an 8-year level. It's the same reason I never spank my kids, because there's whatever they're doing to act up. There's apparently a problem, and I just shut down anything I was doing. Doesn't matter what I was doing. I shut it down. And whatever age they were, if London was 5 or London was 10, I got down on her level and I reasoned with her and the boys and all of them, talked to them about the problems. It's the same goes for, when teaching kids about right and wrong, bullying in school. You can't just in drinking in general, you can't say, and it doesn't do any good, don't drink because it's bad. God said it was bad. The Bible says it's bad. You can't say, well, don't be a bully. That's just don't be an asshole. That works for adults maybe, but talk to your kids of what it means to be a bully, because again, this isn't unique. This isn't unique. What happened to us, it's not unique at all. It happens every day. The only thing that's unique about it is that I caught so much of it on camera. That's about the only unique thing. This happens every single day in every county, in every state. And we're all just trying to figure it out, our best to deal with the bullshit. The parents that are being torn apart and alienated, the kids that are caught in the middle having to deal with all this crap, and then they have to go to school, and then they got to deal with assholes picking on them, and then they might even act up, and they're not going to say, oh, counselor, the reason I punched that kid in the nose is because my life's fucked up. My parents my mom or dad keep suing each other, and they keep ripping me from one to the other. No, they don't give a crap. they've got this no tolerance crap, and they'll just suspend both of them and fine the parents and just make life a living hell. Ryan, school raises kids to be soft. Back then, I would shut down and not fight back, but now I don't dare. If some bastard swings at me, you bet your ass I'll fight about. Good. Yeah, you should. And no matter what they threaten you with, I mean, again, that obviously don't start the fight, but don't be afraid to end it. Just, and when you get them off of you, don't take it too far. But yeah, I've always told my kids it's okay to fight back. So, don't ever pick on somebody. But if someone's picking on you or your little sister or something like that, boys, you fucking handle that shit. Lave a fusion. No child should have to go through it. It's so sad that children grow up in narcissistic families and grow up having a hard time trusting. Yeah, unnecessary pain. Ryan, there's a time where you reach your breaking point. Mm-hmm. And everyone does. I've reached my breaking point many times. People say all the time, I don't know how you bit your tongue, but I knew I had to, because if I would have gone the route of physical fighting when I was being called Caleb and another asshole being referred to as daddy, what do you think would happen to me? Jail. Jail is exactly what would happen to me. And then where would my kids be? More jail. Excuse me. No child should have to go through that. Is so sad that children grow up. Okay, oops, already got that one. Dang, am I behind again? Right, I've reached my breaking point. Learn meditation. Learn, stay calm and think. Oops. Yanni, the zero tolerance rules are bullshit. My kids would get suspended just for being punched. Eventually, I said, if you'll be suspended anyways, beat the shit out of the assholes and earn the suspension. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. If they're picking on you, you have, I don't care what school rules that any school has in any district, you have an inalienable right to defend yourself. You just do, if you can. You can defend yourself. If they start throwing punches and you can block and they still won't stop, just punch back, like Yanni said. Fucking earn it. If they're going to suspend you anyways, zero tolerance of bullshit. Who started it? That's who should get punished. Whoever finished it shouldn't necessarily get punished. It's whoever started it. Game Dot, you should go live with Parker one day. No, he maintains a private life. What are your things you told your kids against being a bully? They just know not to, because they know the pain, and it's just not something I just said, hey, don't be a bully. It was a working, ongoing conversation, an ongoing relationship with them about not picking on people that are weaker than you, about not being cruel. They enjoy their private lives. Storm, I hate that we've become so dependent on a system in so many ways as a society. Seems like everyone's solution nowadays is to call law enforcement to get their way. It's a lose-lose situation. Yeah, it is. And people know that I'm pretty critical about police officers, but I know a bunch of cops, or not say a bunch. I know some cops, and this kind of stuff, half the time they don't want to be in the middle of just a squabble, just a family. I mean, it's written all over Spinks and Roach's face. They didn't want to be there, but this bullshit, like, lady, you're calling the cops over what? Handle your bullshit, lady. calling the cops on your own kids, it's just, that is not a good parenting plan because they don't want to deal with it, and I don't blame them. Right? I don't pick on someone as I'm typically a quiet person. I don't give a fuck if the school has a problem with me defending myself. I'm through with the bastards acting like I'm the fucking one, and you should. You have every right. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone has a right to defend themselves, which is particularly, again, why I do not understand the idea about spanking children. The people who are the least likely to be able to defend themselves, a child, society says those are the ones that it's okay to hit. I've got news for you people. You can raise children to be self-disciplined and learn right from wrong without hitting them. You can. I promise you can. Leo O'Brien. Hey, Caleb, what are your thoughts on the officer that spoke to Parker to go with his mom? Well, that's, I guess you got here just a little bit late. I'm glad he didn't shoot anybody. But he took a paycheck, Leo. He took a paycheck. Parker laid out exactly why, the reasons he didn't want to go back from violence and aggressiveness, and he didn't. The cop didn't care. He took a paycheck. He didn't take a stand. He took a paycheck. He's whining about being a leader or a follower, and that's exactly what he's doing. Just following orders. He and that lawyer both just doing my job, just following orders. Hello, Pickles. Go live with Hayden one day. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I think he's walked in on me a couple times on lives, not since we've been here. Of all the kids, he's about the only one that would do it occasionally. But Pickle is one of Hayden's friends, and thanks for the $5 sticker, or thanks for the $5 tip. Zero tolerance rules have the same root problem as the family courts, believe it or not. It's bureaucrats too lazy to get to know the actual situation. So they create bullshit, one size fits all. Yeah, I've always hated that. When you're in a group, like you're in school, and one person in the class fucks up and everybody has to do push-ups or something like that as a punishment. I've always just hated that. Like, they just punish everybody in the whole group. And when it's the individuals, 99% of the individuals didn't do anything wrong. It's just one asshole. And I get the psychology behind it. They're wanting you to govern your own and get them to behave, but I just don't like it. Just don't like that mentality, like at all. Well, we're an hour and a half into this, kids, and I'm a little messed up at the moment. Emotionally. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I didn't know if I was ever gonna do this. It's weird seeing that. There's so much deja vu. But I think I'm going to end it now. But thanks for everyone who chipped in. I am going to be going on kind of a tour here in about a couple weeks. I don't have a bus just yet, but I am going to be taking my Mustang, and I'm going to be taking all of my podcast equipment. And I've got some things that I can't discuss, and even reasons that I can't discuss. But the boys are good. The boys have this little house. It's all paid for. And Daddy's got to go fucking find himself. And so I might just wind up in a city near you. And for those who follow me here on YouTube, I'll be making all announcements on my in my community tab. I'll be making some announcements on my Facebook. You know, I can't stand Facebook, but I've had it so long. I've got some really good friends there that just refuse to come over here to my channel. but I'm still really good friends with them. But if I don't know, I don't even know how this is going to work out. I don't know. It might fart and fall. It might be successful. I am looking for it. As much of an introvert as I am, I think I'm ready. I'm finally ready. If people want to come out and talk and visit and share their fucked up stories like mine, I think I'm ready. And I don't know how the planning's going to go. Ideally, I'd make it to all 50 states over however long it takes. But I don't know if I don't know how it's going to work. But part of the fun to me is I don't have to know. I know this. My kids are grown and they all know their dad. They know that dad gave a shit. And so that means a lot to me. Storm MC, $5 shout out. Appreciate what you did for your kids. Not many men will stand up for their kids like this. Hope you have a better night. Thank you, Storm. Um, I think there are a lot of dads that won't, but there are a lot that would and that do, because it's hard doing what I did. Not just physically doing it, but you talk about getting blackballed. Nobody wants to hire somebody like me. No, I mean, or very few. But just because, and everybody knows it. That's why so many people, they don't go live. They don't have they're not an activist. They don't want the whole world knowing their business. And I don't blame them. Do you think I really wanted people knowing all of this? I didn't want this. I kept my mouth shut for years though, and I lost every time I went to court. So, but thank you, Storm, for your kind words. I do appreciate it. Sarah Jane, hopefully I'll find it who Bobby is next time. LOL. I've had to delete my messages and put it up a few times. You talking about Bobby Seal? Yeah, I'll just put it in there. You can screenshot this later. Bobby Seal, co-founder of the original Black Panther Party. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, but just in case anybody wants to look it up, give me yeah, there it is right there. Bobby Seale, the co-founder of the original, not this new woke shit, this woke bullshit. The original back in the 60s, the original Black Panther Party. Look up what they're really about. The man came after them and and successfully, I might add, unfortunately, squashed the truth of what the original Black Panther Party was really about. So anyways, as if you're still here, or before you leave, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up. It'll help. It really does help me out a lot. If you hate me, and give me a thumbs down, because it still benefits me one way or the other. Thanks everyone who chipped in, and I will see y'all on Monday. If something really cool comes up, I might go live. Might make fun of the drunks again late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. Get on here, maybe. But anyway, again, Wicca, is so good to see you. I'm so glad you're back. Email me. And oh, by the way, Dannon, I did get your email. I don't know what happened there, but I'll call you, or I'll text you here in a bit, or it might be in the morning, because I'm kind of messed up. Just I'm an emotional wreck. But Dannon, I don't know what happened there, but I'll get a hold of you tomorrow. Oh my goodness, another $4.99 from Kristen C. Co-parenting with a narc is terrible. It is. It's almost impossible, if not impossible. My 15-year-old daughter finally said enough and won't go. And she's old enough. 14, 15 years old. They're not asking to go live with a stranger on the other side of the world. They're wanting they want to sleep in one particular place. Let them. If it's mom, let them. If it's dad, let them. They're not asking, to go be with a stranger. When they're that age, they do have cognitive abilities. They do understand pain. And if you've taught them right, they understand right from wrong. Thank you, Kristen C. I do appreciate it. But I really am going to let y'all go this time. Y'all take care and consider not hitting your cheerings. Bye. Thanks.